Yeah. What did you think you wanted to do?
Oh, I changed my major 5 different times throughout my entire...
As one does as a 18-year-old, 19-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a kindergarten teacher. And then I was like, oh, an occupational therapist. Oh, and then like a physical therapist. And then a counselor. And I ended up graduating with a sport management degree with a psych minor. And then worked in athletics with that degree. And now I'm here on the local church and business side of things. And I'm like, never would have guessed that this is where I was going to be.
I know.
But
never.
Here we are. What did you study?
I studied psychology. I was psychology pre-med. I was so sure I was going to be an orthopedic surgeon. I'm like, like I'm going to wake up and we're just going to like save lives and like we're going to do, like the whole, I was definitely into Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, yes.
And then I was just like, nah, it's not for me. Well, I did an internship when I was a senior in high school and I was a medical assistant. I remember the first time I gave someone a shot. It was on their butt. Oh. And I was so nervous. I didn't even say like, you know how they're like 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna prick you. I was just like, and like I went. I feel like I definitely hit the bone a little bit because it was hard. And she was like, because she knew it was my first time. She's like, oh, that was great. Next time, can we get a count though? I think a count would be helpful. And I was like, oh, my bad.
Sure, my bad.
Yeah, my bad. I thought it was,
wait, that's low-key kind of hilarious.
Adjust this.
Yes, go ahead.
Because it's in front of your face.
Got it. Perfect.
Can't see me.
Are we good to go?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you guys been rolling? Just picking up audio?
We've been rolling, but,
Just doing the thing.
Yeah, we chilling.
Yeah.
Lindsay and Heather set a record for the least likes on a girls' podcast.
The least one?
Oh, you haven't heard about this?
No.
I have a like count.
Oh, my gosh.
Because the very first time we did a podcast, I said it, 1,300 times?
Yeah, you
Around.
and...
Oh, me and Lindsay.
Oh, no.
Did.
But it's a competition now.
But I went down to 350
Yes.
the next time? So like dropped 1,000 off between me and Taylor.
So my count is, I'll say something. I'm like, like, you understand? Yeah.
Yeah, we all have our thing, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We became very aware of it for ready words. Oh, yeah. They're going to be like, you don't look at people. You don't walk around. You say like too much.
Oh.
You say and. You say too much. Yeah.
Dang, I'd get roasted.
Mm-hmm. It's very humbling.
I love this professor. She was one of my favorites. But it was my freshman spring, I did oral comm. And love her. Dr. Miller. I don't know if she's a doctor, but I have her in that high of regard. But I go up to give my presentation and my legs are like crossed one over the other. My hands are like twisted sideways. Then I'm like fidgeting with my ring. And I literally go to start and she goes, nope, stop. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? And she's like, uncross your legs. Stop touching your ring. So I literally took off my ring because I was so used to just like messing with it.
Yeah.
And then I went into what I was doing and I was so conscientious, partly through it, I went to go across my leg and I see her face and I'm like, go back, uncross. And I was like, oh my gosh. But now I'm super conscientious when I'm on stage or in front of people speaking. I'm like, don't cross your legs. Don't have your hands if one's holding a mic, what is the left one doing? I'm so aware because I just have her in the back of my head. Stop.
I honestly get really in the mode and I'm I talk with my hands a lot. So I'm like, the Lord has this for you and this and this. But I would say I run out of breath when I'm up there. And LT has called me out so many times. He's like, you sound like you need some air. And I'm like, I do. I need some air. But he has the same issue. So he's like, we're going to work on it together.
That's
so
good.
Yeah.
That's needed.
Mm-hmm. Besides in GK, I'm so pumped and I'm just very chill. But I listen to my ready words and I need some air.
What do you think's the difference between giving the ready word and being
I think it's just because they're GK kids.
Yeah.
So it's
lively
cool.
energy.
Yeah, it's chill. We're just hanging out. It's
nobody's
very fun.
coming for you.
Yeah, nobody's coming for you unless you say power and then
power.
Yes. Now, anytime we're like sitting in service or anything and someone says power, immediately I want to say power with them. Yeah.
I totally had forgotten about it. And then Shelby had mentioned it in one of the school ministry classes. And now literally that's all I can hear is power. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, which I was in GK for probably 6 to 8 months.
Like serving?
I've served in almost every department here.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, list them off. Let's see.
I started grading, SUB30, GYC, JV, GK, twos class, worship. Yeah.
What did you like about GK? I'm always very curious what people like about GK.
I think it's just predominantly the kids.
Yeah.
Like there's just something about there's not this like the world on them kind of thing. Like it is just, it's so pure and it's kids just literally being kids and it's them learning the best way possible. And it's like that age is just so precious to me.
It is.
And so it's just fun. It was just such a fun time. And it was the time and like the season of life that I was in at that time. Like that was what God was reminding me of like the simplicity of just being a child of God, you know?
I love that.
And so it was just like, and I see it in hindsight now. I did not understand why I was in there in the moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know these kids. How am I connecting? I'm like, I'm used to connecting with high schoolers. So I'm like, oh my gosh, the opposite like end of the spectrum type of thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm used to these deep conversations and now I'm talking about
oh gosh.
what dress up thing story that they told to their best friend over their sleepover 2 nights ago.
Yes,
and I'm
how
like,
they learned a rap song. I had a GK kid and she's like, I'm learning this rap song. And I'm like, oh, really? And she starts singing it like for like 5-10 minutes. She's just rapping in my face. And I'm like, oh, I love this.
Yes.
I also have to go from the service. So give me one moment. But I love that you're learning these rap songs right now. It's great.
like, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Like every time you walk in there, it's fun. And that's the bottom line to it is JV, not JV, GK. JV is not existent anymore.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Now we just all GYC.
Which is funny because me and you talked a couple of days ago, and I told you how I got JV as my track for my internship, and I was like, "This is not what I wanted, Lord. I don't know how to do this age because I was so used to working with ones, and I was like, Lord, turn my heart, and He's like, hey, same way that you love the littles and you want to give them confidence and a voice, do that to the JV kids. So I got it. Then we went to GYC, and same thing happened. I was like, Lord, this is not what I signed up for. I don't know how to like connect with these kids, but turn my heart. He's like, hey, confidence, reassurance. That's it.
Yeah.
And now we're in GK and I told you, like, I'm so grateful that I went through that season because it definitely prepared me for what we're doing in GK now, which is literally building leaders at the small age of second graders, third, fourth, fifth graders. We want them to understand. And Miss Gwen says it all the time. There's no junior Holy Spirit.
No.
Like the same spirit that raised Christ from the dead that lives inside of us lives inside of those littles too.
Yep.
And it's about having them recognize it, having them be able to see it, and then giving them the confidence to operate in it.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's
And they
amazing.
do.
And they do.
Like that's the thing. Like they don't put limits on themselves. I think that's the other special part about that age is they don't put them. There's not a glass ceiling.
No.
Like the sky is the limit, and they're like, well, there's nothing stopping me from the sky, so I can do it. And I'm like, where as an adult do we lose that like lackluster for life? You know, like we lose that wonder and like that curiosity and that excitement. And I thought it was cool, like Jabin Chavez yesterday in his school ministry class that he did, he talked about like, don't lose the curiosity. Like, don't like miss out on asking questions. And I'm like, when in our lives did we like have to like decide to make that switch of like, oh, now I'm an adult, I have to have it all figured out. Any question that I asked, I have to be ready with an answer and I can't not know anything. And like, I was so convicted. I was like, oh my gosh, I genuinely always try to make sure I feel like I have an answer for everything. And I'm like, it is 100% okay to not have an answer. It's not okay to stay without an answer. It's where it's, hey, I actually don't know how to answer your question right now, but I'm going to do some research on it and I'll get back with you. And it's like, that is such an acceptable answer that it's like, dang, like where is it shame? Is it embarrassment? Is it what is the lie or the context that we're putting in that whenever we're like, we have to have an answer. And I just like, I was struck with it. Like the rest of the day, I'm just like,
yeah.
oh
and
gosh.
I feel like that's such a huge misconception of leaders. Like, oh, they're going to have the answer. And yes, we will get to the answer, but probably honestly, there's been so many times where people come up to me and they ask me a question and I'm like, oh, I did not think of that. Let me get back to you. And I go and I try to rework it and I ask the people around me and we get to an answer and then I can give it to them. But I think, it's such a huge no. I think it is just the misconception of what we think a leader should look like or what we think we should be, you know?
Yeah.
But no, that's huge. And I love what you said about like the kids have no glass ceiling. They really, really do not. That is something that is it's such a gem that I'm learning in GK that I did not even think about. But I mean, you'll hear these kids pray. And I told you a couple weeks ago, we had a kid pray for offering. And she was like, and Lord, thank you for these leaders. Thank you that they pour into us and they make our lives better. And thank you that you're going to take care of them too. And me and Jordan were just like in the corner about to sob. He's like, this is why I do it. I'm like,
that's
absolutely.
Amazing. Yeah.
But yeah, they are aware of it. Like they see all these things that we see and they don't feel, because they're kids, they don't feel like they have to have the answer. So they do ask us the questions.
Yeah.
We feel like I should have the answer to this. And sometimes that stops us from asking questions. And I think that goes well with the Bible study we had last night. SUB30 Bible study once a month, right?
Yes, once a month.
At Elder Molly's Elder Molly Hart's house.
Yes.
But she was just talking about like asking questions and reaching for the people around you because those people are, you know, like in the seasons ahead of you, they have the wisdom. They have gone through what you've gone through. They have the questions. They have more of the answers. So don't be afraid to go to them. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's such... I was convicted a lot yesterday, but we were sitting there talking about that in the Bible study. And like in my head, literally the devil on the way there was like, don't go. Like just trying to like pull me away. Like, you're not feeling the best. Like you should probably just get more rest because you know yourself and you're going to like just coming in with every single thing he can throw at me. And I'm like, oh, heck no. I literally, like, I was still in bed. I hadn't left yet. And I had to, like, take my dad to go pick up a vehicle just around the corner from our house. And I was like, nope, I'm getting up right now. Dad, you ready to go? I'm putting on my shoes. Like, I was like, I will get there early because I'm not going to, like, let myself stay in that mindset. I'm like, I'm physically going to remove myself from that. Yes. And I'm going to make action and I'm going to go. And I was like, I'm just going to turn on worship music and pray the entire drive there because I was frustrated about some other stuff. And I was like, get that off me. I was like, I'm not bringing that in. And I just like, I literally had to check myself.
Wow.
Before. And it's like, nobody would ever know if I don't say it. Yeah. Because I'm like, I'm also one, like, I'll put up a good front, which is not the best thing for me to do. But it was like while we were there and we like were going around talking and like I had spoke about how like I remember back in revival in like 2021, whenever I cannot remember who said it. I wrote it down somewhere in one of the journals from back then. But they talked about like just women leading women and like how important it is that I think it was Lisa Bevere actually whenever she came and spoke. Really? But she talked about just how important like grandmas are or like, oh, I forgot the term that she used. It's one of the titles of her books. And it stuck with me because I'm like, for me, having older women in my life is something I consciously have to make an effort towards because of the hurt that I experienced in my childhood that God has already restored. The devil wants to constantly bring up a lie that is like, nope, that's not for you. Nope, they have their own family. Like, nope, like this. And just constantly wants to pull it away. And I know I can so easily allow myself to walk back into that if I'm not taking my thoughts captive. And like, that is what I've done in the last couple weeks if I've not taken those specific thoughts captive. And then like, that's why I was so adamant about getting out of my bed because I was like, that just confirmed I'm supposed to be there tonight.
Oh my God.
And so it was like, I literally, before everybody like, or before I had left, I was like, okay, Molly, how does coffee at 9 a.m. on Friday sound? Because I was like, I was like, I know I need it. And it's like, and it's not out of this like, oh, I say like a lot right now. I'm so sorry, viewer listeners. But it's just this like, I need it. Yeah. And it's, if I need it and God has provided avenues, like Chris Hart always says, like, God's going to provide an exit for you. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's not like an exit. It's an open door to walk into, like, learning and understanding from women who have walked through those seasons of life before me.
Yeah. And
to speak in my life. Yeah. Like, God has that for me. And I'm choosing to not walk through an open door because of letting my past and the lies that the devil are telling me. And I'm like, okay, hold up. Mm-hmm. How did we get here?
Yeah.
How did we accept what's happening? And it's like, I go back to, okay, where did I fall off to where that wasn't my mindset? What was that root that changed it? And like, that's something I've been very big about, is like getting to the root of things. So like, why did this trigger in me? Yeah. Like, why did this stir? Like, something happened with my dad before. Like, when I dropped him off, like, we kind of got into like literally 30-second tiff and drove away. And like, on my car ride, I was like, God, help me figure out the root of this, because I'm tired of this continuously happening. Mm-hmm. And it's a small thing. Like, mm-hmm. It is not a big deal. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I don't even want the small things to keep creeping in, because small things can become big things if they just fester and they lie. And I'm like, absolutely not. God, show me, uncover it, reveal, like, let my eyes see what, like, I'm not able to see.
Yeah. No, that's so good. And that's, I would have never thought that you were going through that, like, right before the Bible study. And it's so crazy. I was feeling the same way too. I went with Natalie, mm-hmm. and she's like, hey, it's 45 minutes away from where I'm at. And I'm like, dang. And I check and I'm like, well, it's 30 minutes away from me. And she was like, should we go? And I was like, it's kind of far away. She's like, no, we're going to go. And because she said, we don't gain anything if we don't go.
That's so good.
But we will lose a lot if we choose to, if we choose not to go and stuff. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, perfect. So she kept me accountable. We went. We were just amazed. And that was, while I was thinking about not going, I remember telling you I was going to go. I'm like, what if I text Sierra, hey, like, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to make it. What if that would have, triggered you to be like, well, I'm not going to go either. Uh-huh. Wow, that is so, so amazing. And that's just the power in having people around, the right people around you. And Pastor Jabin talked about that yesterday too. And you guys have talked on it a lot on the podcast. Like, the people that you have around you are so influential, because they're the people that are going to push you, or they're going to, keep pulling you farther and farther from your goal. But so good. We were talking about it after we talked and stuff, and we were just all chilling. I told Natalie, oh, I'm so glad that we came. And she was like, yeah, I wasn't feeling it either. But she said something like, who said this? I think Travis Peter said this in School of Ministry. School of Ministry has so many gems. Yeah. I love it. But he said, like, he's just talking about action, like taking action, stop being passive, stop staying where you're at. And she's like, I just thought, if I don't go, that's not me taking action towards the goal. And right now she's just wanting more fellowship. And I've actually been wanting the same thing too. Mm-hmm. But she's just talking about, like, take action, stop being so passive. The Lord is just waiting. He is just waiting for you to give him something to bless. Yes. But if you're sitting down, hands crossed, legs crossed, just like, Lord, please deliver on this, but you're not at the place you need to be with the people that you need to be, how is the Lord ever going to help you? He works through people. Yeah. That's what it is. So don't hold back, don't stay where you're at. But that was so good.
And it's like, how are you going to get there if you're just sitting on your rear?
Exactly.
Like, God's calling you to go. Yeah. But you're planted.
You're staying still. Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's just so funny.
And just also, you talked about, like, the root cause and stuff, and how the enemy will try to feed you, like, those little lies. Mm-hmm. Man, that's what he was feeding me last night. He's like, oh no, like you don't need to go. Like it's fine. Like just stay.
Yeah.
Just stay and you can work on your paper. You can like clean up your apartment. Like it's fine. Just stay. And I was like, no. Yeah. Natalie helped me out and get out of that. But also I've just been thinking how when you are about to take that big leap, and this is where I feel like my life is at right now. Yeah. I'm getting towards the end of the internship. That next step is right there. And right now I feel, okay, am I going to put into practice all of the things that the Lord has brought me through, all the things that he has taught me in the past year? I feel like it's all gearing up for this one step. A whole year of development for one step. And at the end of the day, it's for me to decide to actually trust that the Lord developed me. He showed me things like I am built for this. I've been building up for this. So now it's like even that trust in myself that, hey, he's got me. Yeah. He helped me. I'm built up to the statue that he wanted for me to be able to even reach this next step to take. But man, will the enemy work hard. I mean, before the internship, I was very insecure. I did not think I had anything to offer. I did not think that anything that I was good at, I really just didn't think I was good at anything. I really thought that I had nothing to offer people. And the internship has taught me everybody has something to offer. There is a purpose. Like everybody has a purpose for their life. God is going to use every single person, and it's going to be in different ways. So you have to you have to walk in and accept kind of the way that you are going to be used. And I've been feeling these past months that the enemy is just like, that's not true. Like, you actually don't have anything to offer. Like, are you going to trust yourself? Like, you say you're confident, but why is your default questioning instead of that confidence? And I've just been having to become aware of it. Just become aware that when you're about to take that next step, those lies, he is terrified. He's like, please do not take that next step. And he's going to be flooding and flooding and flooding with your past, the past lies that he has brought, given you, try to give you. But man.
Which it's like funny though at the same time, because all the devil's doing is just confirming you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Like if you that's one way like I've had to really reframe it. Cause like I used to get so caught up in like, why did, kind of thing. Yeah. And I was just so frustrated because I was like, I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. Like, why is this just like, why am I getting pounded by what the world essentially and all these lies? And it finally, I played soccer throughout literally my entire life. And God just showed me this like vision, like this image one day of just like, okay, when you're go to play Sierra, when you're doing good, what does the other team do? They're going to man mark you. You know? Yeah. And I was like, okay, like what are you trying to get? Like, what are you trying to tell me with this? Like, what is this like imagery? And he was just like, so what happens when you're man marked? And I like, in my head, I was like, you're just telling me I'm doing a really good job and now I'm going to make you work 2 times as hard because now you made me mad because I was free and now I'm not. Yes. Somebody's on my rear the entire time trying to make it difficult for me to make an impact. But what also happens is whenever that's happening, it frees up open space for my teammates to now occupy if I'm utilizing that person staying on me the entire time. So I literally, if I'm up top, like at the very front by the goal, I literally would drift sometimes towards not our center back, but towards half line. And I would just open up space because the other team's trying to take me out. Okay, let me use it for my good. Yeah. I'm gonna move you out of the way so now a teammate can come into this lane that is now occupied and open. And so it's me having to reframe, this isn't a bad thing. I can be frustrated that I'm getting man marked, or I can see it as a compliment. Okay, you see my value, you see my worth, you see my effectiveness, you see that I am on fire right now, and now you're trying to prevent me from doing my job. Wow. Now I'm gonna take you out and I'm gonna twist what you're doing against me. I'm gonna get you out of the way. I'm gonna use you now. Okay, get over here with me. My teammates are now gonna succeed because you thought you had a game plan for my life. That's not the plan.
That is so good.
And it was just this and maybe I didn't explain that the best way, but it was just this moment of just okay, I'm now gonna like not look at like the lies coming in. Like I can definitely get caught up in them, but it's like when I finally like have that like aha, like, oh my gosh, I've been listening to the lie again. Okay, stop. Take every thought captive, bring it back. What does the word say? And it just confirms, okay, I am actually doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. I just have to be more diligent and disciplined in my thought life to make sure I'm not like just going astray without me even realizing it when those thoughts come in.
Yeah.
And so that's been a fun part of this wilderness season that I've been in, is just like really just taking ownership, taking authority, taking responsibility, and just cutting it all out. Like all the things that are not of God, let's get rid of them.
Yeah.
And it's challenging. Like truthfully, it is uncomfortable.
So
it
uncomfortable.
is pruning.
Yes.
It's stretching. It's growing. Like I'm sure I did not grow. I didn't hit these growth spurts that a lot of tall people had, where I know it was uncomfortable and it was awkward and it hurt because of how much some people would grow in a year or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but like my brother, he grew pretty fast. And so like he was clumsy. Like some of my teammates grew that way. And I was like, I'm a little tiny sprout down here and they're a freaking tree over here. And I'm like, oh no, like I'm going to be short forever. But it's like, I didn't experience those growing pains. I didn't experience, but I'm experiencing them in this wilderness season right now. And it's not a negative season. Like it's those defining times of like calling and equipping and developing and learning and growing and pruning. And it's, if you want to look at a negative, you 100% can. You can be frustrated, and if you allow yourself, you can be like the Israelites and get stuck for 40 years. Or you can be like Joshua and Caleb, where they can see that promised land of what God has and is like, oh my gosh, it is flowing with milk and honey, just like God said. Oh my gosh, like we're going to get to occupy this land. Like this is what he has for us. And instead of viewing themselves as little ants or grasshoppers, like they see what God has as opposed to the negative side. And I would like Numbers, and that's a Numbers 13, but that's been like a Bible story that I've just like held on to so much, like literally probably in the last year, not just this last couple months of the season, but it's such, and it goes back to the power of your words. Like, what are you speaking over the situation?
Absolutely.
And there's so much you can apply and take from that, but it's amazing what your perspective and the way that you're viewing something is. And it says, be careful about what you say, negativity, etc. And negativity has been a word that I did not realize how strongly I operated in for the longest time. Like I was so unaware, and God bless my friends for loving me and sticking, like literally the power of your friends. It matters, because they called these things out in me for so long. And I heard them, but I didn't receive it because I was like, absolutely not. That's not me. I'm not negative. Like all this, like feeding myself the lie, but they're telling me the truth because I don't want to hear it because I couldn't see it. I didn't have perspective of it. I do have perspective now, and oh my gosh, I was so negative about everything. Like if you ask me how my day was, my day could be 95% good, and that 5% that was bad, that's all I would talk to you about.
Wow.
I wouldn't let you in on the good stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't, like, my dad and I have talked about it because my dad came home one day and his day was crazy. Like it was good, but it was crazy. Like genuinely, like both of the two vehicles, we have 3 vehicles at the house that he has. All 3 of them had something going on with them, and my car was going in to get new tires that same week. So all 4 of our vehicles, all at one time, multiple different things happening. Like it was just like, okay, what the heck is going on? And that he just walked in and just unloaded, all negative. And I sat there and I just hear my friends' voices like, Sierra, you speak negatively. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the root.
Yes.
But it was so cool because I got to talk with my dad in that moment. I'm like, hey dad, I'm sorry that these things are happening to you, but was there anything good that happened today?
That's good.
He goes, actually, yeah, I've had a great day. And I was like, well, it really doesn't seem like it because all you're telling me is about the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just this, like my dad and I get to hold each other accountable now in that, which is really cool that him and I get to do that. Like it's such an opportunity, but it's so amazing that my life, even just, and that's something I've been very, 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 like, I cannot tell you how strongly I've been disciplined in that, because I was like, I am sick and tired of being negative. Like even the other day, like I told you yesterday or maybe the day before, but like when I was like laughing or I did something and you're just like, oh, we don't get to see like this side of you all that often. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm like, I'm holding back who I truly am. And it's the insecurity. It's the not having that godly confidence in who God's created you to be. And I was looking this up because you had said it earlier, but it was, Jabin Chavez said it yesterday, but it's have a healthy confidence in who God made you to be. It's not this cockiness. It's not this like overconfident person, but it's having a true godly confidence in who God's created you to be. And that's where it's every joint supplies. And it's knowing I have a purpose. I have a calling on my life. Like I am worthy. I am valued. I bring things to the table. Like I am enough. And it's all these things that God has for you and has made you to be. And it's operating in that and not out of self-pride and like boasting upon myself, but it's, I can't do any of these things without him. And it's just been this shift of like, and I told him, I actually brought that up to my friend the other day because we got to have dinner and I was like, Bebe, she's like, I haven't seen that side of you. And I like it was such a small moment seemingly on the outside, but it unlocked so much for me because it answered so many questions that I had like, I didn't even know that I was asking or like needing the answer to. Cause I was like, okay, maybe I'm struggling in this area. And it's like, why am I not relating to this person? Maybe because you're not being your true self and who you've been called to be and you're putting up a front. And I'm like, okay, that's a healthy smack in the face right there. But it was such a beautiful turnaround where it wasn't like this like drill sergeant, like you're not being yourself. But it was this, somebody finally got to see me because I finally operated as me. And God just like turned that around and is like, that's how you're always supposed to be, is joyful. And I'm just like, how did I miss that? Like, and I go back to the kids earlier of like, when did we get that shift in our mindsets that we had to have to be calm, cool, and collected, have all the answers, like all these things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what am I doing? Like, let's reevaluate everything. Let's take inventory everywhere. And that's why I said, like, if it's not God, it's going. Like, there's no more time for that. Like,
there's no more.
No.
Not at all.
There's no patience for it.
No.
Patience is a virtue, and there's no patience for that. Like, get that out of here right now. Like, it's gone.
That's amazing. So. And it was such a small moment. And honestly, when we talked about it the other day, I was thinking, I'm like, dang, I don't recall that. And then I was thinking about it more. I was like, oh, I recall that moment. Wow, that is so beautiful. And it was just honestly acknowledging the life that you had in that moment. Like, that's really what I saw you like laugh and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, like there's so much life. And it was attractional. Like I was attracted to it. I think I was even like working myself. And then I heard you and I turned around and I was like, oh, like that's so lovely to see. But yeah, just that life inside of you. And again, like that life that we have, like that's his spirit. Naturally. And I remember having this realization in the internship because for the first 3 months, I was doing it right out of my own strength.
Oh gosh.
I was not used to working with people. I am the oldest of 7, as we established earlier. So I've been used to this gets done at this time, this gets done at this time, and that's it. And obviously now you gain a whole team. Our team is like 21 interns. So it's different perspectives. You have older people, younger people. You have people that think the same as you, opposite, all just kinds of things. But dang, I forgot what I was going with that. What were we talking about before?
The joy and the life, the spirit inside of us.
Yes, the spirit inside of us. Oh yeah, and so the first 3 months I was operating out of like my own strength. And I got to the point where my strength ran out. I couldn't do it by myself anymore. I was just getting frustrated with everybody. Nothing seemed to be going the right way. And I remember just like sitting down and I was talking to the Lord. I'm like, Lord, why do I feel so alone? Like, why do I feel so frustrated? Why do I feel so upset? Right before I started the internship, my dad gave me a word from the Lord. He said, the Lord wants you to enjoy this year. Have fun. That is what he wants from you. And I was not having fun. I was not enjoying it. And he told me, he's like, because you are naturally, like in your flesh, you are kind of bitter. I was like,
Okay.
Excuse me. He's like, yeah, you're like naturally kind of bitter. You're kind of just like, you just want things to get done the way you want it to. And if it's any other way, it's just very hard for you to understand. But I was just like, you know what? Naturally, I do feel like I'm someone that is, like someone that is not as patient, someone that is bitter, someone that I could get jealous sometimes. And he's like, but with me, you are someone that's patient. You are someone that is kind. You are someone that loves people. You are someone that can see all these perspectives.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just like, oh, okay, Lord, I can't do this without you. Without you, I am not someone I want to be around, honestly. But with you, with your strength, with your joy, with your peace, with your love, with your patience, kindness, gentleness, I am someone that brings life into the situation. So
that's crazy. How do you think, like, looking back on who you were before the internship, being in the internship, and where God is calling you, like, just what does that perspective look like from like where your positioning is right now?
Right now, I kind of want to go back to the old Bebe and just be like, hey, you're good enough.
Yeah.
You got this. You're doing so good. Like, stop being so hard on yourself. Like, you enjoy life more, laugh a little bit more. And at the beginning, actually, that was something that we were having a family night, and we were doing like a conversation cards, because if you know me, I love to ask questions. I love to talk and just yap.
Yeah.
And so I brought those cards and we were talking, and one of the cards was just like, what do you wish you saw more in this person? And it was my turn, and my teammates were just like, I wish we saw more of like you laughing and you being funny and you just not taking things so seriously.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to take everything so seriously. Gosh. And I was just like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Everything is serious. Like, life is serious. Like,
are we the same person?
No, seriously. This is, what did Nate say? He was like older sibling syndrome injury. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. And that's definitely what it is. Like, it really is. And so,
I said older sibling energy or older sibling injury.
Injury. It's injury. It's injury.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so I just was always used to taking life so seriously, and they told me like, stop taking it so seriously. So I would tell her that, like, hey, have fun, like, enjoy. You're so busy working your life, you're not enjoying it, and that's what the Lord wants. He gives you, He takes care of you.
Oh my gosh.
We should not be worrying about, where's my provision coming from? What is my purpose? He takes care of you, and he takes care of you, so you can turn to the left and to the right, and you can start taking care of other people.
Yeah.
Pastor Bill said this one time, and it changed my life. He said, you need to stop being needy, and you need to be needed.
That's so good.
It was like a slap in the face. I was like, what do you mean? Like,
okay.
What? No, I need this and I need that. And then the Lord was like, no, and that was at the that was towards the middle of my faith journey. So at the beginning, I was needed. I needed to know, what the Lord's love felt like, what it was like. I needed to know all this stuff, but I was like transitioning.
Yeah.
I was getting to a point where, this already. I need you to go tell other people this. But in order to do that, you have to look up. You have to see the people around you. You have to see where the need is. You have to see the people I want you to talk to. So I would tell her that. I would be like, hey, like, stop taking it so seriously.
Yeah.
Look up, get your attention somewhere else and stop focusing on yourself. And then I had another transition period. At the 6 month mark, we had new interns come in. I remember vividly during G Week, and I won't give too many details. But vividly during G Week, we were doing a team building exercise, and I was getting so frustrated because I didn't understand the exercise. It's like, they're like mind tricks, and you're trying to like figure some stuff out. And everyone, again, there's 21 of us at the time. There was like 23, and we were just like all looking around, and it's like 9:30, but it feels like it's 4:00 in the afternoon because you've been up for so long and et cetera. And I was just so frustrated. I couldn't understand what was the point, what was going on. I was just like, no. And one time actually, Maddie looked at me because we had it was so simple. It was a different one, but we had to arrange everybody through like alphabetical order through our last names. And she looked at me and she's like, Bebe, you're good at organizing. Like, take the lead. Yeah. And I literally just stood there like, no, like, I don't know. I really don't know. And then Cole jumped in. He's like, it's simple. And like, we figured it out and stuff. But in the middle of it, I went through this period of like, okay, I need to rely on my teammates now. Because towards the getting to that 6-month mark, I had become a leader within this group. And because just naturally, because I did events. So I ran events at the church. So I literally contained all the information and I had to direct people. So naturally I became a leader within that. And so the Lord showed me, okay, I need you to step back again. I need you to rely on other people because new people are coming in and they have new strengths.
That's so good.
And they're going to fill an area where you're not good at. So I need you to take a step back. I need you to look to the left and to the right, because you need to see like where this new help is coming from. Yeah. And it was hard. It was really hard because I don't, again, older sibling injury. I don't like to feel like I don't know what's going on, because most of the time my siblings are like, what's going on? Yes. What do we need to do next? What's the next text, et cetera, et cetera. Even my parents sometimes will be like, what's going on right now? Yeah. But I did not like feeling that way. Yeah. So I had to admit that I didn't know something. That was hard. And then I had to admit that I needed someone else. And then I had to trust that that person could lead me. I know. Crazy. It's like you need trust, huh? You need trust to walk this out. But yeah, in the middle of that, I went through that transition period where I was still a leader, but it looked different. Yeah. It didn't look like up ahead. It looked like, okay, I'm in the back and I'm looking to see where someone is stumbling. Because again, we had new people. I had to see where they would stumble and where I could possibly fill in, or where I could grab someone else and come have them fill in. And then now, like I said, I'm in this period where, are you going to believe God's word or not? Like, God's just like, do you trust me? Do you believe me or not? It's a yes or no question. That's it. He is not, simple. It's that simple. He's not like, I have buts, ifs, wins. He's like, no, we went through that already. I gave you your answer. You know the answer. Are you going to trust me or are you not going to trust me? Yeah. And also it's a little bit of, are you going to trust yourself? Are you going to trust that I have built you up, that you know that you hear my voice and another you don't follow? That's it. And again, like we are going through wilderness, like we're going through the wilderness series, and we talked about the Israelites, and I actually also personally feel called to go back to that story and look at it. And I was just, again, like it wasn't supposed to take 40 years. It was supposed to be a short period. And so I thought, okay, if it was supposed to be a short period, then in that beginning time where they were like, oh, we need food and da-da-da-da-da, and the Lord was providing it, I feel like that was almost, that first part was the wilderness. And then that second part was, are you going to trust me or not? Yeah. I mean, he made food fall from the sky. Personally, if that was me, I'd be like, all right. Like, I trust you. I trust you. Like, you got it. You got me. I've never seen anything like this before. But I feel like that was the wilderness season of like, okay, are you going to trust me? I showed you, but are you going to believe me now? And then the second part was, are you going to step up? I called you out. Are you going to step up? I already showed you what I could do. Yeah. Now I need to see if you are going to trust me or not. Yeah. And I used to think, why does the Lord, why does he want to test my faith? Because, I mean, if he knows me, he knows my heart, he's the beginning and the end, he'll know how I'll react. So why does he need to test it? And I just thought, the testing of our faith it's not for him, it's for us. Yeah. It's for me to know that when something like this happens, that I do have the confidence and I do trust the Lord.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that's what I would tell the beginning of the internship, me in the middle, and me now.
Wow.
And again, like my life right now, I do feel like, okay, the wilderness, we went through it, and it was long and it was hard, but now it's like, am I gonna take the reward, or am I still gonna decide to like stay back and figure stuff out on my own, or am I just gonna trust that God already gave me all the answers that I needed for this one next step?
Yeah. That's so good. And I think it's cool because it's like there's such a honesty that you're operating in, and like wherever you're at, whether you're like, I am harvesting more than I could ever harvest in my life right now, or it's, okay, Lord, I am stopping right here because I have no clue where I'm going, and I need you to show me my way. Jabin Chavez said it yesterday, here's where I'm at, and God can do a work now. And it's just that honesty, like, piece to it, where it's wherever you're at, it's you having the honesty, not just with yourself, but with God, and being open and being obedient in those moments and being submitted to what the Lord has in those moments. And that's not to say, like, you can be harvesting and be in a wilderness in a different area of your life.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I'm like, yep, okay, I'm speaking for myself right now. Like, I'm reaping such a harvest right now in certain areas. I'm also, like, hitting basics and, like, getting to square one on some things that it's like, you keep saying you've done these things, but you really haven't. So let's actually get them done. And I'm going to get to speak. I'm going to share part of my testimony of this season next Wednesday in service. And I'm going to take everybody through just this imagery that God gave me. And God speaks to me a lot through like visions and images. And that's how, like, obviously I make sense of things because that's how he's speaking to me and explaining it. But it is such a way of just, it makes it so simple. Like, because when you see it, it's like, oh, okay. It feels more tangible whenever it's that way as opposed to just the thought. But it's such a cool and a very humbling experience. But it's so amazing because what comes out of it, like, once this wilderness season, whenever it closes, it's the promised land that is stepped into. That's not to say you're going to step into another wilderness somewhere else. That always happens. That's just being a human being as one who follows Christ. Like, that happens. You're always constantly going to be growing and getting equipped and getting called higher and elevated. And there's always that. But I was listening to one of the school ministry classes this morning with Chris Hart, and he just said the seeds that you sowed 1 to 2 years ago, you are reaping the result of them now, whether good or bad. And so that just kind of stopped me. I paused the video whenever he said that. I wrote it down, and I just like pondered on that one thought for the next like 10 minutes before I left for work. And I was just like, wow, I can look back at my life 1 year to 2 years ago to what I was doing. I know who I was hanging around. I know what I was doing with my time throughout my day. And I'm just like, I truly am, in some ways, reaping a very healthy harvest. In other ways, I'm in that wilderness because of those sowing. And now I'm thinking, okay, in 1 to 2 years from now, with every area being completely submitted, what does that look like? And how does that keep growing of new seeds getting planted? And I'm just like, it was just this like aha, like revelation of, and it's like, oh, you should already have known this. But it was just such like a beautiful confirmation and an encouragement of God of just like, you're putting in the work. Like, my dad has a ginormous greenhouse on the side of our house, and the work that he puts in to get the harvest that he has is insane. Like, he woke during the ice storm that we had a couple weeks ago or months ago.
Oh, yes.
Every 4 hours, he would go out to make sure the furnaces in the greenhouse were going. Like, it takes work. It is not always fun. It is not always on the time that you want it to be. But if you're obedient to putting in the work, you're going to get the harvest. Yeah. And it's so cool that God is speaking to me through my dad's actions of that, because it literally is my dad sowing seeds into the soil to get a harvest and being disciplined into making sure he is taking care of it. He picks the weeds. He makes sure it's watered. He makes sure the atmosphere and the environment and the temperature and the like conditions. And I'm just like, wow, there's so much that goes into it. But it truthfully is like, if you want to harvest, you have to put in the time when planting those seeds.
Absolutely.
Your heart has to be that of good soil to receive that, to where it doesn't fall onto thorny ground. Like it doesn't fall where the crows can come and pick it up. Like it has to be the right soil. And that is a work that must be done in order to have that. And God is just like, you have done the work. You've been putting in the work. You're continuously putting in the work. Good job. Don't stop. Keep going. It's not always going to be, oh, I have no dirt under my nails, we're good. It's sometimes you're gonna get in there and it's gonna get messy and it's gonna get uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
But you're doing the work to get the harvest. And it's not like I'm doing this to get something. I'm doing it because I'm being obedient with what he's called me to do, being obedient with my time, being obedient with studying the word like I am, being obedient to where he's calling me to study. And it's just, if I don't know, and I don't have an answer for it, being okay with stopping, going to the last thing that I know he said, going back there, and then going from that point.
That's good.
Because, yeah, this season has just been a lot of revelation and just new perspective on life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it is work. I mean, I feel like people just don't understand that. Like they hit that wall, and immediately they're like, oh, well, there's a wall, I'm gonna turn around. Or, you know, like they don't want to put in that work to break that wall down. There was so many humbling, embarrassing, like moments that I had to work past. I could not just ignore them anymore. Again, like with let me give me an example. With being verbal. I feel like that was just something, like when I was growing up, I just struggled with being verbal. Again, because I thought that I didn't have anything to add. Yeah. And I had to be in those uncomfortable moments during Ready Word. I had to go on that stage and hold that mic and like, oh my gosh, I really hope they can't see that I'm shaking. Yeah. I had to work past that so that now I can be confident in the voice that I do have. I had to understand that there's different people that I'm working with. And so I had to humble myself. I had to hold my tongue so many times. I had to be like, you know what? Even though I feel like this is the best way to do it, I'm going to be humble and I'm going to submit myself and we're going to work, we're going to see this vision come to pass. And sometimes it was much better. Sometimes there was alterations. And then sometimes I had the laying now to be like, okay, can we run this? And even when you did run things, again, I was in events. You could plan an event for a year. Every detail, the day of, it's not going to go exactly the way you planned. It's just not going to. And I had to learn, okay, I have to pivot. I had to be okay with the plans I make in my head. They're just not always going to flow exactly the way that I planned them off. They're always not going to flow the way that I planned them. But I have to be okay with that. And I have to trust that I have the capabilities to pivot when it does come. But I mean, it took so many uncomfortable moments. It's super, super uncomfortable. And people want to run away from that. They want to. But if you're not uncomfortable, you're comfortable, and that's just being passive. That's it. You want a big reward, you're going to have to work for that. It's not just a get rich quick scheme. I'm sorry, but that's not how the kingdom works. No, like the kingdom is foundational. It's generational. And so you have to start at that floor, tending the ground. And then you got to plant the seeds, and then that takes time. And then you got to build upon that and build upon that. And that doesn't happen in one generation. And then it takes another generation to do as well. But it's sturdy, it's firm, it's something that is not going to be shaken. The roots that I have planted being here, the internship, my kids are going to reap that. they're not going to move from that. And they will do even greater works.
Yeah.
And their kids would reap even more. And there is just going to be a steady, firm foundation, because I decided that on a Monday morning for Ready Word, that I was going to be confident and that I was going to speak. And then when I got correction, I decided not to run away from that correction. I decided, hey, I'm going to seek counsel. Hey, I'm going to practice. Hey, I'm going to be okay with being uncomfortable.
Yeah. And that's something for, say you didn't grow up in the church. Say you didn't grow up in a household where this is the mindset that you operated in. Not discounting yourself and disqualifying because of when you start that race.
Yes.
That's just the lie that the devil's trying to get you to throw you off of it. Because go back to what we were talking about earlier about it's just confirmation when the devil's throwing stuff at you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, now you're going to start getting that. Like, he wasn't worried about you before. When you're not following God, you ain't nothing to the devil.
Yeah.
You're just a person on the earth.
Yeah.
But when you step into that and decide, Jesus Christ is the Lord of my life, I'm never going to smell the sin of hell. Oh, hold up. Somebody just popped up onto the scene. That's what the devil's thinking. He's afraid of you. He doesn't want you to fulfill the call that God has on your life. He doesn't want you to walk that out. You have a purpose. You have a plan. He doesn't want that. So when you're now going to step into that and you, like you said, when you decide, don't go back. Don't discount, don't disqualify from your past. I was notorious. Like I said, I go back to thank God for my friends. My friends dealt with a lot with me, and God bless, literally, they're going to have an extra reward in heaven for that one. But I think back to my best friend's husband literally is just like, stop bringing up your past. It's in the past, you know? Are you a new creation in Christ? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right.
Yeah.
The old is gone. And I'm like, oh, like, yeah, duh. And I'm like, oh, I was so upset with myself because I was like, that was the like dumbest thing that I allowed myself to just continuously bring into the present was the past. Like, I am a new creation in Christ. The old person, the old Sierra, she's dead and gone. She does not get to operate here. The way that she used to think, the way she used to act, she's not alive. Yeah. Me now, Sierra, I always do the little claw on my knee. As a child of God, that's what I get to walk in now.
Yes.
So none of that from the past gets to come in. So there's no discounting. There's no disqualifying myself because now I am a child. Like, I am walking out. I'm walking worthy of the calling that I've been given. And I was speaking to somebody yesterday at the Bible study, and she was talking about like just feeling like she's behind in life. And I was like, absolutely not. No. You are exactly where God has called you to be. Stay obedient, stay the course. It's uncomfortable. You're, as an adult, making this decision. As a child, it's like when you learn to, like, okay, you learn to sit up, tummy time, learn to sit up, you learn to crawl, you learn to walk, you learn to run. You learn things in stages. As an adult, you learned the wrong way. And then you're like, now I'm making a decision to literally change my life. And it is getting out of the old habitual ways of doing predominantly everything. The way you think, the way you act, the way you speak, who maybe your friends are. Your life is gonna change from a 180. And it's hard. Like, even in the sense of like finances, that comes into play. It's, wait, I get this, I'm now tithing 10% back. What? But when you get the kingdom mindset to it, it makes so much more sense.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And it changes the perspective. And so it's, as an adult, making that decision to truly follow after God. Like I said, you're gonna unlearn a lot of habits. What are you replacing that with now that you are doing that? Okay, is the devil trying to now get those lies in and deceive you and saying, you didn't start as a kid, so you're never gonna get there. You see all these people, and I found myself doing that, discounting myself because of my past. And finally, my best friend was just like, hey, the person that you keep comparing yourself to, they've been doing this. They're twice your age, first off. They started when they were younger than you. You started however many years ago. Why are you comparing, let's just say 5 years, in comparison to their 35 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to be where they're at. Their season, they've walked through things. The things that you're walking in now, they've already walked through it, and they've walked through more and more and more and more. They can speak to you now because they've lived it. But that doesn't mean you get to compare. We're not to compare anything to anybody.
Yeah.
And so it was just this reminder last night of the transformative work that God has done in my mind and in my heart and like the way I view now myself, because I could so easily be like, yeah, girl, I'm with you. Like this, that, yeah, whatever. But instead I got to have an opportunity where I could use the life that I had even just from a couple years ago and can share. Yeah. It isn't always the funnest thing to unlearn all these things. And yeah, I'm still doing it, but it is worth it. You know? And I was like, we have favor in our lives.
Yes.
We get to wake up every day and operate in the favor that God has for us simply because we are obedient and submitted.
Yes.
And we are a child of God.
Yeah.
Like that's what we get to partake in. And so it was just, I'm kind of on fire about it right now because it was such a moment that like, low-key, it pissed me off. I was like, no, I literally was like, I interrupted her. I was like, that's a lie. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Please continue so I can literally finish.
Spirit, okay.
But like, I was mad. And like, it's like that righteous anger that like, when you hear somebody like, especially if you're a believer and you have the Holy Spirit inside of you and you are talking to somebody and that triggers, you better freaking speak to it.
Yes.
I'm sorry. If you don't, like, we want to talk about being passive. I'm getting fired right now. I'm so sorry. But like, speak to those things. Like there's a reason why that stirred up inside of you. If he's calling that, use what God gave you, you know? And you don't have to have been walked through it. You could have heard the story from somebody else and is like, hey, I'm speaking from somebody else's perspective, but I know that they walk through this. You can do it too. And it's always out of encouragement. It's not to break somebody down. It's not to belittle them. It's not to make them feel less than, but I see what the devil's trying to tell you. Let me tell you what God is trying to do.
Yes.
Because the devil's just confirming that you're doing the right thing. That's what I want you to know. And I literally saw her face shift when I said that because I don't know if anybody's ever told her that.
Yeah.
And maybe she hasn't said that to anybody. I don't know. But I wish, well, I can't say I wish. I definitely did have people that said that. I just didn't hear it until a lot later on. Like now I get to turn.
Be that person.
Yeah. And so it's just, I get fired up really quickly about things. I'm so sorry.
I don't know how much more time we have, but I do want to just speak to that a little bit and say, like, if you are a new believer and you feel that call, I want to tell you what's on the other side. On the other side is a life of authority.
Come on.
It's a life of true freedom and true peace, and that reward is so much greater than the embarrassment you might feel if you get that calling to walk up to the altar and you're thinking, no, like you're making every excuse in your head. Because I've been there. Trust me, I was that girl. I could make about 1,000 excuses in 1 second on why I shouldn't walk up to the altar. But on the other side, it's true freedom. It is authority.
Yeah.
It is a life where you are no longer being dragged by the lies that the enemy is trying to tell you. It is a life where you live your true desire. Like the Lord knows all the desires that you haven't. Because if you are getting to that moment, you probably aren't to that moment where you're like, okay, let's, let me lean into the word Lord is trying to tell me, especially if you're a non-believer, especially if you're a person that never grew up in the church. You're probably on the other side in a moment where you don't enjoy your life. Yeah. Where you're not filled with any passion, where you are very passive, where you don't feel like there's anything in your life to live for. On the other side of that decision is the true desires of your heart being brought into fruition. It's a life of abundance, and not just, when we think of abundance financially, no, it's a life of abundant hope.
Yes.
More than anything, abundant hope, peace, and love. Yeah. So make that decision if you are feeling called to seek the Lord in any kind of way, if it's to go to a Bible study, to come to a service, to seek a friend on advice on this or whatever, please do it. Yeah. do it. Because the life that you live on the other side, it's a land of milk and honey.
Yeah.
It really, really is. I would do it all over again. I really would. Even this internship, I would do the internship all over again because I know the reward at the other end. So please do not give up. Be persistent. Be obedient. Be humble. Be obedient. Lean into what the Lord is trying to get you to do, because he has nothing but the greatest things imaginable for you.
Yeah.
And don't be passive. Keep moving.
Yeah. Ask questions.
Ask questions.
And if you're needing somewhere to ask questions, come to Guts Church.
Yes. Come to
We
Guts
have
Church.
services Sundays, 9:30 and 11. We have a Spanish service, Iglesia, at, is it 1?
Yes.
At 1 o'clock on Sundays as well. We also have a 6:30 on Wednesdays. We have our Easter service coming up on April 20th. We've got a worship night on April 18th, which is a Friday night. It's going to be amazing. We also have SUB30, which is for our 18 to 30-year-olds on Wednesday, every Wednesday night from 8 to 9 o'clock. And our North Sanctuary, we've got food, we've got coffee, we've got community, we have answers.
Yes.
It just takes showing up.
It is. That's that one step.
Yeah.
That is, if you are listening to this and you're like, hey, I'm feeling something stirring, and you're thinking, what's the next step? The next step is show up to SUB30 and talk to somebody. Don't show up, sit down, and then leave. Show up and talk to somebody. It might be awkward.
Yeah.
Maybe. I can't guarantee it that it won't be, but.
And maybe you're not awkward. Maybe that person is. And hey, that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine too.
But you showed up.
Yes.
And that's what matters. But you're not going to sit alone. You're not going to not talk to anybody. You're going to be seen. You're going to be heard. You're going to be loved.
Yeah, you're needed at this church.
You have value.
We need you in GK, please.
And SUB30. We'll take you in SUB30 too. We'll share. You guys, GK can have them on Sundays.
Yeah.
SUB30 on Wednesdays. Yeah, exactly.
We got a plan for you already.
Yeah. You just didn't even know it. There you go. Your next steps. Oh, well, thanks for being on.
Yes,
It's been such a joy. I know you started the internship right before I started working. And
That's true. That's true.
It's been cool to get to see specifically your class just navigate and learn and grow the way that you guys have been in the first 6 months to this 6 months. And I'm not in the internship. I work here, and I'm like, man, I feel like I unintentionally did the internship at the same time with what you were saying. I was like, man, I was going through that too with the job portion of, okay, am I gonna get my hands off this, or am I gonna press into what God has for it?
Yes.
So it's been cool to walk alongside of you in this season that you're in, and I'm excited for all the things that God has for you next and big plans. I know we've talked about some of them.
We have talked about some things.
We're not gonna divulge them on the pod, but God has big things for Bebe ahead of her.
For everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yes.
Yes. Kingdom work.
All right, we got questions on Instagram from different people for you guys. Let's look. In the wilderness, was the thing you would say to refrain from? Sierra.
Oh, on the spot. To refrain from, that's a mouthful. Refrain from while in the wilderness. Honestly, giving up. Just allowing yourself to stay in that season and not allowing yourself to know that there is the promised land, that there is something beyond this season. I think it's so easy we can get in this mindset of when is this ever going to end? And Ryan Bush, Coach Bush, he always used to say, complaining equals remaining. The more you complain, the more you remain.
Yeah.
Which is what the Israelites did. But I think just not allowing yourself to stay stuck there. It is for a season. It is a season of wilderness. It's not a life of wilderness.
Yeah.
You're going to get out of it. It's okay to just be in it.
To stay present.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Miss Beth Law was talking about that last night. But yeah, just stay present and just admitting okay, this is a season where I'm working on stuff, where God is revealing, where he is showing me these parts of myself that I honestly do not want to look at. But yeah, it's for a season and it's for a reason.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Make it right.
Wrap it up. All right, next question. What is your response when the wilderness seems to be overwhelming, Bebe?
I would say the wilderness is supposed to be overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's meant to be overwhelming because it's meant for you to reach the end of yourself. I talked about
So good.
the first 3 months of the internship. I was doing everything in my own strength, in my own power. I was honestly putting up a facade of, no, everything's fine. Like, I'm totally fine. And then I would go home and just feel so overwhelmed, feel so drained, feel like I had no direction. And that's because I was trying to get through this with my own strength, and I was at the end of it.
Yeah.
There was no more for me to give. So the wilderness, it's gonna be overwhelming. That is the point of it. And the point is to reach the end of yourself.
Yeah.
So what's built beyond that is what the steps that the Lord has directed you
Yeah.
to. So lean into the overwhelming, admit it, seek help, seek godly counsel is so major. Because if you're at the end of yourself, then you clearly you don't know how to go further. So
Yeah.
clearly you don't have the answers.
Yeah.
You do not have the answers. Seek the Lord, but also seek godly counsel. Seek people that have gone through a similar wilderness season, people that you admire, people that are in a position that you want to be in, because chances are that they went through almost the exact same wilderness season. So lean into it. It's going to be overwhelming. That's kind of the point of it.
Take a deep breath.
Yes. Take a deep breath.
It's okay.
Yes.
Like, that is why you are in that season. And take another deep breath.
Yeah.
Pick yourself up again, and take another deep breath, and you keep going forward.
Yeah. And it's not, don't feel like you're failing.
Yeah,
You're
no.
not, let's address that too. You're not failing in the wilderness season if it feels overwhelming, and you're not failing if you got over something and then another thing comes, like you said.
Yeah.
Take another deep breath and another thing comes, you take another deep breath. You are not failing. You are just breaking through the years of lies that the enemy has been feeding you. You're just breaking through them.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not a reflection of you. It's just honestly a reflection of how hard the enemy works. But the Lord works much harder.
yeah.
He won already.
Yep.
So
We have the victory. And it's when that feeling of failure comes in, reframe the way you look at failure. It's either, okay, this didn't work out, that's it. Or it's, okay, this didn't work out, now I know how not to do it the next time.
yeah.
And you keep moving forward from there. Like, I think it's I don't know if it's a cleaning product, but the brand is 401 or 402 or something like that. It's because whatever it's 401 or 402, that was the attempt that they finally succeeded on.
Oh, yes.
So that product would not happen if they didn't fail 401 times or 400 times before that.
Yeah.
They kept going to now have a product
That's good.
that a lot of people use. Yeah.
Love it.
All right. Next question. Sierra and Bibi, what are some tips to overcome that season of wilderness?
I think just like Bebe said, lean in,
Yeah.
like stay present in the moment, receive all the wise counsel around you, and just truly press in.
Yeah. Just admit it.
Yeah.
Admit that you're struggling with this. Again, don't try to do everything in your own strength. I will also say sometimes when you've been in the wilderness season for so long, your time with the Lord can sometimes feel like repetitive.
Yeah.
It can feel like there's not necessarily, and in your perception, there's not any life to it. Or you also might just, or he honestly might be a little like taking a little bit of a back seat just to, give you room and stuff to, again, once the Lord has given you answers and he has showed you and he has provided, now it's up to you, like, am I going to trust him or not? So he might just be literally waiting for you to take that action and say, are you going to trust me or are you not going to trust me? So I would say also another tip would probably be find a new way, like a new way to connect with him. Prayer walks, worshiping, what else? Journaling is a great one. Bible studies, being in community. If you've don't do the wilderness season alone.
Yeah.
Do not do it alone. Find a community, find a mentor too. You might just need a fresh environment, a fresh perspective, a fresh start. So admit it, and also try new ways to connect with
And
the
if
Lord.
you're getting stuck in that way, maybe there's more that God has for you that you just haven't allowed yourself to tap into. Mm-hmm. And just all those ways that Bebe just said, like those are ways to expand.
Yeah.
That doesn't remove the being in the Word. It adds on top of what you were doing.
Absolutely.
So it's as you're in the wilderness, potentially as you're feeling that stuckness, specifically with like, hey, I'm not hearing him as much. It's like you keep running to stay attuned to that still small voice, that whisper.
Yeah. That's good.
And finally, from our very own Carson Rhodes,
Oh gosh, what is Carson?
your
have?
survivor skill. What's keeping you from being voted off the island?
Oh, as I've been watching multiple episodes of Survivor the past 3 weeks, love that show. Oh, do you watch Survivor?
I don't watch Survivor,
Okay.
no. I heard a lot of things about it though.
The outwit, outlast, outplay.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, do you know what that means? Like survivor skill?
Yes.
Baby. Okay.
Okay, what would,
I'm familiar with it. I just
concepts.
never seen it
Okay.
myself.
what would yours be?
Okay. I was telling them I am a great liar. We played a game of Mafia and I would have made it all the way to the end if I would have strategized a little bit better the last 2 rounds. But I'm good at lying. I'm good at deflecting the attention elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'm also, because my mannerisms are, like, I can't really hide stuff on my face. So when I am very, like, excited, like, it's very visible. And so I'm aware of that. And so when I am, like, in that game, when I was lying, I tried to emulate the same mannerisms that I would if I was telling the truth.
Yeah.
So I'd be a great liar, a great manipulator.
Is it bad? I've been pondering this question more than before you said this. Over the last couple weeks, I'm like, okay, old Sierra, like BC, like before Christ, like she master manipulator. Oh, I could have controlled people so well. Not trying to, like, that is not a bragging thing at all.
We don't.
I look back and I'm like,
manipulate
oh my
people,
gosh,
yeah.
like, okay, I was telling you guys, like, we played Secret Hitler, and it destroyed me that I was like deceiving, and I'm like, oh, my heart has changed, God bless. Like, legitimately, I was like, I can, like, it's hard for me to like lie even in a game like that. Like, I feel I have such a guilty conscience.
It does.
So if my survivor skill, I think I'd have to go to my athleticism and just pray that I keep like, and finding like the hidden immunity idols, that I'm like doing good in competitions, that I built strong allies, like that I'm trustworthy. I feel like that would be what I would, like, I am a super loyal, like, to a fault sometimes, that I will probably get blindsided because I would be so loyal that I just couldn't see you.
I feel like I would
doing
definitely
that to
blindside
me.
you. Yeah. I would definitely be like, yeah, we're on the same team.
I feel like you could convince me that we're allies,
Yes.
and you would have me in the palm of your hands,
Yes.
because I would just be like, yeah.
Yes. And it's like when we played that game, I made it to like the second to last round, and so much relief when I was voted off, I guess, because it's not fun. It takes a lot of energy to lie and manipulate people.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not my leisure time, because
Yeah, I just don't just walk around trying to deceive and lie. Yeah, yeah. I would love to be on Survivor. It would be so fun. I think just to try it, the like social politics of it, I think I would just. Okay, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm done. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
But I think the other side of it, like the meeting the people, the getting to do the challenges, like honestly seeing the sets that they come up with, and just like trying to literally survive on rice and coconuts and spearfishing. I don't like coconuts. I don't like fish that much, but we'd learn.
Yeah, you survive.
Yeah, I would make it. And it's, I don't know. I think there's so many cool nuances. Like, I was watching season, I think it was 23 yesterday, which was in 2012. And they're in like the final 5, and it's so cool. Like she got bit on her neck by something, and she was like having like an allergic reaction to it, and like they had a competition that night, and literally like there's Christians on the beach with them, and she, like one of the contestants, two of them, they went and they just started laying hands on her and praying for her, and like I love, like that was 13 years ago that aired, or like 12 and a half years ago, but that's what they were showing on national television, was people being bold in their faith, laying on of hands and healing the sick. I sat there in my bed last night it was right before I left for the Bible study, and I'm like, they did that, and they showed that on national television. Earlier on in that season, there was a seminary student, and she's like, Lord, I need strength. I'm struggling. She was not cut out for that game, but they had her, I mean, she was just doing what she normally does when she needs something. Mm-hmm. She went to the Lord in prayer, and she was praying in tongues, and they were showing that on national television. And I'm like, that is not shown anymore, but it was such a cool, like, I just watch random seasons just as like background noise because I enjoy it, and I enjoy people's stories. But that was so cool because I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe that really, like, yeah, there's boldness there, but I'm like, they were living their lives. Like, it's not, oh, I'm doing this because of a camera and I want the world to see it. Their natural response was to turn to God. Oh. And I'm like, oh, that's
Guys, I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to win because I have the Lord on my side. I have favor. Healing in my hands. We have the victory. Yes. I believe that the Lord will just have food fall from the sky if I needed it. So that's how I would win.
Coconut just drops. Boom. Provided.
Yes.
Yeah.